Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we have the second race of the Cup Series playoffs to do at Richmond, but first we have a next season paint scheme reveal for Chase Elliott now, as we got some new schemes rolling out that you're going to see here in the coming episodes. So this one here is Chase Elliott's Adrenaline SHOC paint scheme. This was a concept made by Lefty Designs, Noah Sweet, you guys see him all over Twitter, and then this guy High Creations actually made a NASCAR Heat version of it, sent it over to me to run for the next season in the career mode, so I'll put both of their Twitter handles on the screen, but hope you guys like that one. Like I said, Lefty put that together and can't wait to bring this stuff to life. Very excited to get that going, but I thought that was a great scheme. I wanted to show you guys. Larson's got some new paint schemes on the way that are not real, and then there's going to be some that are based on his real car, so I cannot wait to show you guys what we all have in store for this next upcoming season here in the career mode in terms of all the paint schemes that you'll be seeing. I'll be showing you guys the 21 Ryan Preece car that I'm working on soon now, as he's going to have a very new, different looking paint scheme with that 21 car that I can't wait as well for you guys to see. But we come through now into the truck series here in the playoffs. We have of course locked ourselves into the next round of the playoffs, but this time out here we were at my home track of Canada, so very excited to get going here at this road course. We had subscriber Cam Orant in the truck for us here, as he had a bit of a rough start here in the first few corners, going a little bit wide, but fortunately, unlike iRacing, there's actually runoff there, so you do not have your race completely destroyed now, as I've fallen victim to that on the iRacing side of things personally, most recently in the core. But now we came through a little bit here later into the next few corners, and Cam was trying to make his way around the ThorSport trucks here now, as he goes down to one of my favorite sections of just anything in the NASCAR schedule. I love this little kind of uphill bend that goes into the sharp right-hander now, and Cam would make up some ground there, and then sure enough, a little bit later on, he would be able to pass both Grant Enfinger as well as Ben Rhodes, so he goes up the left-hand side into the penultimate corner, completes the pass, and we come through now with just a few laps to go. Actually, he would make another pass here on the number 51 truck, so he would move up inside the top 10 as this race went on, and we came through to the final lap here, and unfortunately, Cam couldn't run down the next group of cars by the time the race had come to an end, so it comes through out of the final corner here on the final lap to come through to cross the line for a solid top 10 finish here in the Chevrolet Silverado 250 at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. So it was a 5th place finish as Austin Hill picked up the victory. You saw Rajah Caruth actually up there in 2nd place, so a strong finish for him, as you see the rest of the running order on your screen. At the very bottom of the field, we had Joe Nemechek, but overall, of course, we're locked in to the next round of the playoffs, so a good day for us, as Ben Rhodes and Ty Gibbs currently the two drivers on the outside looking in, as there's only one more race left in the first round already of the Truck Series playoffs. Justin Haley, though, actually managed to pick up the final regular season victory here in the Xfinity Series, so he will be in the playoffs now, as you see the rest of the finishing order. Alex Bowman got P22 for us here in Richmond now, as you're going to see the playoff grid going into the Xfinity Series here now, as Haley, as you guys know, will be moving up to the Cup Series next season in the career mode in that number 16 car. I got a bunch of paint schemes actually in store now for him, so I can't wait for you guys to see that as well. But there you see the playoff grid here for the Xfinity Series. Haley, Deegan, Allgaier, and Haley, they were all on the outside looking in. Unfortunately, Kevin Magnussen ended up missing the playoffs after that race. Now, as we come through into the Cup Series weekend, though, here for qualifying with the Razor paint scheme back on the car. Finally back to a normal paint scheme, as we've run a few special schemes lately with the Chainsmokers car, Daytona for the Daytona finale there in the regular season. Then, of course, we ran the throwback to Jeff Gordon's 1997 All-Star race. Now, as we come through, though, to complete our qualifying lap with a 20.990 here in the Federated Auto Parts 400, we qualify P19 for the second race of the playoffs. And if we just have a solid night here in Richmond, we will lock ourselves mathematically in at the end of this race to advance to the next round and not have to worry about Bristol Motor Speedway at all. There, as you see Corey LaJoie at the very bottom of the field. As you check out the rest of the qualifying order, the top 10 rounded out by the rookie of Austin Cindric here, as you see Hamlin and Chastain up on the front, but Hamlin would end up getting actually sent to the back of the field here for the start of the Federated Auto Parts 400 due to an engine change. Alright boys, we know the drill. Just have a good run tonight. We'll be locked into the next round. I don't have to worry about Bristol, so let's go have a good one. There you heard myself on the radio now as we get ready to go green here for the Federated Auto Parts 400 at Richmond Raceway. Now, as the stories of the race, of course, we want to stay away from Joey Logano, who actually is starting very close to us, right behind us actually now, as Denny Hamlin sent to the back after an engine change after qualifying. Austin Dillon gave up his qualifying position for a brand new set of tires now, as we are ready to take the green flag alongside Chase Briscoe, right behind another rookie of Tom Gilliland, as we move up into P18 here for the start of the second race here in the first round of the playoffs now as we are underway here for the Federated Auto Parts 400 at Richmond Raceway. Behind us, we actually got Christopher Bell. That is Joey Logano, who's going to get close to us here as we go down into turns 1 as Bell move to the inside. The 22 gets very close, just hoping he wouldn't run into the back of me. Fortunately, he does not get to the back of me as we already passed the 5 of our teammate Kyle Larson. Have a free opportunity to jump down to that inside line as we went down into turn 3. They're 4 wide in front of us between Briscoe, DeBenedetto, Blaney was in the mix as well, and so was Noah Gregson as we came through to complete the first and opening lap of this race. Here as we go down into turns 1, I send it way too deep into the corner, opening the door for Martin Truex Jr. to come up my inside. Some contact with the 9 of Chase Elliott as we go down into turns 3. Now contact there with the 10 as Elliott, he went sideways. A bit of a chaotic start. He saved it. We all get back going here, but a very chaotic start. You saw some 4 wide racing there, but fortunately everybody keeps it clean here as we go down into turns 1. Brad Keselowski very early on takes the lead away and was trying to drive away now as second place belonged to Cole Custer. Eric Almirola in the 43 car had climbed up to P3 as we were now at the inside of Martin Truex Jr. into turns 3 here, trying to work our way towards the top 10 here now as we were finally starting to settle in a bit after our first few chaotic laps in this race now as we try to complete the pass on the 19 for that 14th position. Truex, of course, as you guys know, in the final season of his Cup Series career before Harrison Burton moves over into that 19 car next season here in the career mode. Cannot wait to show you guys that paint scheme that he has got as well now as we get up the inside of the 2014 Cup Series champion and make a pass on Kevin Harvick, so up to P13. And sure enough, we run down the number 20 of Christopher Bell. A lot of paint schemes in store for him next season as well in the career mode here as we go down into turns 3 up the inside, and it would be a relatively easy pass here on the inside of that 20 car. So we complete the pass out of turns 4 and now up into P12 we go with less than 10 laps to go already in stage 1. After that chaotic start, everything really calmed down. Wasn't a whole lot going on here in the first and opening stage now as we were trying to run down the 23. Bubba Wallace, we actually got to the back of him on the exit of turns 4 and lap 14, got him sideways, a bit of a bump and run there, not intentional, but we do get past and move up into P11. So then I get back to the 02 car of Eric Jones now with a few laps to go in stage 1, and I decided to actually do Eric a favor right here. I definitely had the speed to pass the 02 McLaren right here, but I decided, you know what, just to do Eric a favor and get him some help. He needs every point he can get right now. I decided we're just going to kind of chill behind him here for the rest of this first and opening stage here to go down into turns 1 on this final lap now of stage 1. Alex Bowman up there in the 9th position as we exit turn 2, actually side by side with the 02, but he has the momentum as we go down into turn 3. Blaney lunges up the inside, caught me a bit off guard, but fortunately I noticed it coming at the last second to get out of the way. He passes us at the line, so we're going to actually fall down to P12 as we came through to finish the first and opening stage here in the Federated Auto Parts 400. Now, as I was definitely confident in the car, we could have easily probably driven up to maybe 7th or 8th there if I would have just passed Eric Jones, but Brad Keselowski wins stage 1 after still being winless so far this whole season. He's trying to change that here tonight in Richmond. Definitely been a subpar season for Keselowski to say the least, and definitely gotta make you wonder how much time he has left at Penske Racing to really show that he belongs there. We know he has at least one more season in that 2 car, which will be next season in the career mode, but definitely going to need to be a make or break year for Brad Keselowski. I think unless he goes out and wins a bunch of races next season, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he ends up going to another team here in the career mode. Now is get ready to go green for the start of stage 2, and of course for the start of the stage we will go through into the AMP segment. You saw the restart there. We're now P11 as we go down into turn 3 on this third lap here in stage 2, passing Ross Chastain as well as his Chip Ganassi Racing teammate of Noah Gregson, who fights in the playoffs. Very different situations between those two teammates. Gregson in the playoffs, Chastain didn't even have a chance of making the playoffs. He was down in like the mid-20s in points. So quite the difference between those two drivers. Makes you wonder maybe if Chastain's days at Chip Ganassi Racing here in the career mode are limited as well. But we would get up to the inside of our teammate of Alex Bowman out of turns 4. We would clear the 48 car, move now into the 8th position as we were trying to run down Barisco, but he would actually go up and pass Tyler Reddick as well as Cole Custer. So then we were now dealing with the 8 car of Tyler Reddick, who was also in the playoffs here, but would expect him to maybe be a first round elimination here, as we would clear him though into turns 1 after about a lap battle. So we came through up into P7, now running down the Stewart-Haas duo of Custer and Barisco here as we came through to lap 10 of the second stage. 36 laps in stage 2, so quite a bit of time left, but we would now try to fight to the inside of the 41 of Custer, who still looks for his first career win here as we go down this back straightaway. Of course, last episode, his teammate of Matt DiBenedetto won the first race of the playoffs, locking himself into the round of 12, and now Chase Briscoe up here in P5. Stewart-Haas overall having a solid day here, other than really Kevin Harvick, who seems to be struggling here, and DiBenedetto actually struggling a bit too, so that win really came in clutch for him last episode at Darlington in the throwback race. So we would continue fighting our way forward, though, with 23 laps to go in stage 2, up the inside now of Ryan Blaney. You see the 20 of Bell was down to 40th place. He'd actually had an engine issue and it had to come to the pit lane, but they got it resolved, so he was back on track. But then more stuff happened. The 8 of Tyler Reddick came to the pit lane for an engine issue, so there's a playoff implication right there. Reddick on the pit lane, potentially the end of his race here with an engine failure, and that is going to be huge for him, as he could very well be in a must-win situation depending on where everybody else finishes here today in Richmond. There, as you see, sure enough, there's the 8 on the pit lane right there as we go down into turns 1 of the inside of the 14 of Chase Briscoe, and sure enough, we clear him out of turns 2, move up into P4 now with less than 15 laps to go in stage 2. Sure enough, we would start working our way through the lap traffic led by Christopher Bell, Keselowski, Almirola, and Kyle Busch. They had already been dealing with it for a while up in front of us, and this lap traffic was allowing myself to close in on a little bit towards 3 as we go down into turns 1 and 2. So we would try to get up in the mix here now on lap 29. You see the McLaren of Zane Smith battling it out now as we actually have an incident out of turns 4. The 5 of Larson, our 2 teammates involved, Bowman as well. There you saw, but Larson blew a tire. Around he went. Unfortunately, the 48 was in his path. The caution is out. Everybody coming to the pit lane here. Larson done for the day here in Richmond, so very unfortunate right there. Unfortunately, I guess Larson wasn't in the playoffs, so it didn't affect him in any way now, as you would get ready though to go green for the restart, where Kyle Busch had a very poor pit stop. So all of a sudden we were up into P3 here for within the 4 final laps of the second stage. Right now, the best running Hendrick Motorsports car is us right here as we go down into turns 1. Briscoe right on the back of myself. There's someone defensive on him to make sure he couldn't sneak up the inside there. We come through to turns 2 side by side with the 43 of Almirola. A little bit of contact between himself and I. The 2 car, Keselowski, has been setting an incredible pace here tonight in Richmond. You can see the gap already. He is gone as we clear the 43, and I had absolutely nothing for Brad Keselowski here at the end of the second stage, as I'm just trying to hold on to second at this point because there was no chance I was running down that 2 car. You see the gap got even larger by the time we came to the final lap here a few laps later in stage 2. Briscoe still in P3, trying to put the pressure on myself as we exit turn 2, go down this back straightaway for the final time here in stage 2. When Brad Keselowski, if nothing goes wrong for him tonight, there is no reason he should not win this race here as we came through at a turns 4 for the final time here in stage 2 in the Federated Auto Parts 400. Keselowski wins stage 2, now sweeps the first 2 stages, picks up some crucial playoff points, and as well as some crucial stage points to make sure he can get into that next round of the playoffs comfortably, now as we would get ready to go green here for the 3rd and final stage, where no pit stops were necessary now, as we just pitted there under that last yellow. Solid car, guys. I don't think we have anything for the 2 car, though. He is extremely fast. I don't think anybody has anything for him, but we'll see what happens here. You never know what's going to go down. There you heard myself once again on the radio now as we get ready to go green. So P2 up on the outside, Chase Briscoe and his Stewart-Haas Racing team at Cole Custer on row number 2 and P3 and P4 now, as the green flag is back out, and the 3rd and final stage here in Richmond is underway for the second race of the playoffs. 39 laps to go. Ryan Blaney up here in the mix. So a few non-playoff drivers in the mix now as we actually get taken 3 wide by the 12 of Blaney there. Was not anticipating that, so there was a little bit of contact between myself and Briscoe. We finally fought ourselves up towards the top 5 into second place, and all of a sudden we have a bit of a moment like that, but we get up the inside now of Chase Elliott. I would try to fight with him here as it came through, completing the first and opening lap here of the 3rd and final stage, but Elliott is able to stay in front of me for the moment here as we go down into turns 1. So we settle in though for P4, trying to make a move for P3 now. Stenhouse takes it 3 wide down the back straight away. He saw me go wide, so now we're under attack from the 47, and we're in a bit of trouble here because now we drop outside of the top 5. Kyle Busch up my inside. We're up the inside of Elliott, trying to make something nothing worked. The 18, I was actually side drafting him accidentally and pulling him back, so I let off the throttle, get him in front of myself here, and then we would continue trying to fight up the inside of Elliott, but then Hamlin gets up to my inside, makes it 3 wide as I went wide again in turn 1. So now we're down to P7 as a terrible start here for us in this third and final stage, but finally we get past the 9 of Elliott and try to work on once again running down these cars in front of us. We got to the inside of Denny Hamlin now as we were 3 wide actually with him and Eric Almirola here as we came through the turns 4, but we complete the pass on both of them, back up into the top 5 to the back now of the 47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. with 34 laps to go now into turns 1 up the inside of him as he was just staying to the right and making it very easy for myself, so we clear him on the exit of turns 2. So easy pass there, back up into P4, and now as we came through the lap 69, nice, closing in on the back of the 12 of Ryan Blaney as once again Brad Keselowski driving away. No one has anything for him as we approach the final 30 laps here in Richmond. So really, I felt like it was just more of a fight for second or third now, as Cole Custer was actually following me into this battle with the 12 of Ryan Blaney. I got on the inside of the 12 here. He was making it a little bit tough on myself here as we go down into turns 1. Blaney doing a very good job there defending and just kind of keeping me pinned down, but we are finally able to clear him. And then out of turns 2, Cole Custer now to the inside of the 12 here as we go down this back straightaway into turns 3 as we go down into the corner. Some contact with the 41 of Cole Custer. Now that caught me off guard a little bit there as he kind of descended into the corner, saw that hole, and I was of course closing that hole, but fortunately we both would kind of cycle out here still in P3 and P4, so Custer, he would be able to stick with me now as we came through to lap 76, and you could see Keselowski, Kyle Busch, they were long gone. Kyle was faster than me, Brad was faster than myself and Kyle, so we just couldn't run them down, but we came through to lap 84, lap traffic up there in front of us a little bit. I was thinking that was going to be a bit of a factor now as we came through out of turns 4. Custer still sticking with me here as he seems pretty even, actually a little bit faster at times here on this final stage now as we came through to 16 laps to go through the center of 1 and out of turns 2, just trying to hold on to a podium here as we run down Timmy Hill, but I go a little bit wide into turns 1, opening the door for Cole Custer to get up my inside. Some contact with the 66 there of Timmy Hill, 3 wide down the back into turns 3. I back out of it, say, Cole, you can have the spot. The 66 gets sideways, he saves it as we exit turns 4, but now we would settle in here to the 4th position with the final 14 laps underway here in Richmond as Keselowski just tries to hang on to victory. He's just hoping it stays green, of course, at this point here as we come through to turns 2. Now to lap 88, though, a little bit over 10 laps to go, the tire icon had come on, and we were close to green flag pit stops, but never mind, as I say that, the caution comes out with 13 laps remaining here in Richmond, so we will be making a pit stop under caution. It was a very easy call to make here, half a can of fuel, 2 tires was all we needed. I did not repair the car. Honestly, I probably should have because there was a little bit of damage on the back bumper, making the car a little bit loose, but we come in to the pit lane in P4 now, as you see, 21 cars on the lead lap. Anthony Alfredo up there in 22nd. Alfredo's been doing a solid job this season lately in that car, so definitely been impressive here in his rookie season for the car that he's driving. But we would gain 1 spot on the pit lane, overtaking Cole Custer, moving us now up into P3. Keselowski dominating the whole race here as he has the chance to go to victory lane for the first time this season as we are underway for what could be the final restart here in Richmond with now just 9 laps to go here as we go down towards turns 1. I could have sent it up the inside 3 wide right here, but I just didn't see a point to doing that now as we came through out of turns 2. Just want to keep it clean and make sure we can have a good restart and then focus on passing Brad Keselowski here. Of course, we've got to clear the 18 of Kyle Busch first. We're up the inside of him. Keselowski goes all the way to the top, surprisingly. So we exit turns 4, and we're right up in the mix side by side with Kyle Busch. Behind us, we got Denny Hamlin, who started at the back after qualifying on pole. He had an engine change after qualifying, so we know he's got speed in that 11 car, and he spent the whole race getting into P3 now here as we came through to 6 laps to go. Keselowski to the top, opens the door for myself here. Briscoe now behind us as we come through out of turns 2. We clear Keselowski, who seems to be handing away the victory within the final handful of laps now as we go down into turns 3. We go a little bit too deep into the corner, trying to keep the car pinned down, but I can't do it now. Briscoe up the inside, side by side for the lead with 5 laps to go in Richmond as we go down into turns 1, pinching him down the best I can without running into his door, and we do a very good job of that through turns 1 and out of turns 2. We're still side by side down the back straightaway. Hamlin trying to get to the back of us here as we go down into turns 3, still side by side, but can't quite keep it there, and now Hamlin up my inside. Briscoe to the lead here within the final 4 laps of this race as I actually clipped the wall there, and then I would fade in behind the 11 of Hamlin now. So we came through now towards 2 laps to go and actually lose a little bit of time between myself and Denny Hamlin now as we go down into turns 1. He's all over the back of the 14 of Briscoe at this point, but gets a poor exit out of turns 2, a lap and a half to go. Briscoe picked up his first win of the season just recently at Dover with the second final regular season race, and a few races later, here he is at Richmond leading at the start of the final lap. He had 2 wins in his rookie season last season, and here he is this season with 1, about to equal that again compared to last season now, as he's going to pick up win number 4 if he can hang on. There's nearly some contact with Denny Hamlin here as we go down the back straightaway into turn 3 for the final time, and the Federated Auto Parts 400 as I try to get into the back of Hamlin and move him, doesn't work. Briscoe wins in Richmond, locks himself into the next round of the playoffs, his second win of the season, and his first career playoff victory as we come through to cross the line in P3. Definitely some things I felt like I could have done better there in defending over Briscoe, as I was able to pass Kozlowski, of course, out of turns 2, and I just dove way too hard into turns 3 and just blew it away. If I just could have made the corner, we might have been able to defend properly over that 14 car, but once he got past me, I just felt like I couldn't do anything, and then Denny Hamlin, of course, made it even harder when he was able to pass me for that second position. But there you saw the finishing order as well here in Richmond. Now as I'll show you guys the playoff grid for all 3 series before we end this episode. Of course, our truck team locked in Ben Rhodes, Ty Gibbs, they're all on the outside looking in. Rhodes actually 2 below the cut line, it says 0, that's just the way the game is for some reason. Then the Xfinity Series playoff grid here, going into the first race of the playoffs at Bristol in the next episode. There you see Haley Deegan, Justin Allgaier, Justin Haley, Josh Bilicki all on the outside looking in. And then, of course, we have the Cup Series playoff grid with the Benedetto and Briscoe. The 2 Stewart Haas drivers have started off the playoffs with victories. I remember last season, Joe Gibbs Racing, when we were with the 20 car, we won, the first 5 or 6 playoff races as a whole for Joe Gibbs Racing, which was incredible. Stewart Haas looking to maybe do the same thing here. But there you see now on the outside looking in, Daniel Suarez in the number 99 Trackhouse car, Eric Jones, William Byron, and Tyler Reddick. Now, as it's going to be a very close fought race, I think, in Bristol, where I'll be definitely bringing in the live playoff points for that episode. But before we end this episode, of course, I would just like to say a quick thank you to the Goin Racing members who help us out a ton here on the channel. So I just want to say a quick thank you to MJ, Aiden, James, Joseph 9001, RJ, who's a moderator on our channel, Timothy, Bubba Jr., Illinois Diecast, Devin Roth, Eric Schwed, Matthias Hansen, as well as Movement. You guys help me out a lot, and I really do appreciate it, as I always say, and thank you everybody for taking the time out of the day to watch this episode. I will see you guys in the next one for the elimination race in Bristol Motor Speedway for the first round of the playoffs. Have a great day, everybody.